Yeah.
Hi, Michael. My name's Gemma. I'm the detective that spoke to you the other day.
Hello, yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Not very well.
No?
No.
Are you physically unwell? Do you need to go to the hospital?
No. Hospital was a waste of time, as is everything else.
Okay. Well, do you remember we spoke and I said I'd ring and potentially arrange to meet regarding your allegation of sexual assault?
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, so I wasn't sure what you plans were.
Well, I'd hoped to be able to see you in person, but unfortunately I've had to work away from the office because my husband's got COVID.
Right.
So I didn't want to risk giving it to anyone.
Oh, crikey. Probably if it does exist, it's hardly anything lethal, is it? Seriously.
Well,
sorry, it doesn't matter, a separate subject. Sorry, I'm not in a good way. Look, I just want to die, okay? I'm sick and tired of the abuse that I'm suffering. Right, I'm not having anything done about it. Safeguarding is just as corrupt as Devon and Cornwall Police, just as corrupt as Devon Partnership Trust, just as corrupt as the Majesty's Courts and Tribunal Service. I've had enough.
Just stop for a minute. I've only dealt with you on one other occasion. I haven't dealt with you for any other matters. I'm here to ask if you want to talk about the sexual assault. I can't talk about all those other things. I don't have knowledge of them. If you're telling me you don't want to talk to me about it, that's fine. I'll close the inquiry. But if you do, I'm here to discuss it with you and talk about going forwards. But that's your choice.
Well, yeah, I do. That's why you were calling, to discuss it. But it's just everything else. I am so sick. I've had enough.
Well, I understand that, but you need to make a decision about what you want to do about this particular element.
I do want to discuss it.
Okay, are you happy to discuss it a little bit on the telephone so I know what we're dealing with?
Yeah.
Okay, I would have liked to have done it in person, but I don't want to sort of keep you hanging on.
Right.
So what we would, if I explained to you how an investigation like this normally works,
right.
Because of the nature of the offence, we would normally do a video recorded interview.
Right.
Because that's better than me writing a written statement with you. And then we would need to see what you've got to say about it, and then ask that person to come into custody and get their account of what happened.
Yeah.
We need to think about if there is any other evidence that's external to the two people, because it may be your word against theirs. And sometimes that causes us a little bit of problems evidentially. It's not that we say we don't believe anyone, but if you say one thing and they say the opposite, or they say something different, we're kind of in a position where we don't really have evidence in favour of one or the other.
Right.
So sometimes we can't achieve a charge against someone.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the end goal of a police prosecution is to find the baddie, to get them, and to put them before the court, but sometimes we don't have enough.
Yeah.
So we just need to have a chat about what you know, what happened to you, and if you think there's other evidence that might support your allegation, and then we can move ahead if that's what you want. I mean, do you want to go to court?
No, I haven't got any other choice. I am sick and tired of all the abuse that I'm being subjected to, so one of them's got to go before the court. I mean, I'm supposed to be at court next week because of the laughable charges by your colleagues, which I haven't seen any evidence about. I can't cope with this. I haven't eaten. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not showering. I'm not washing my clothes. I've had enough, and I'm not getting any support. So,
do you think at this point, Michael, that this is something that will help your mental health?
What? So I said, what? So then somebody else gets away with stuff that's happened, you know? Like she took advantage of me.
Okay. Well, do you want to tell me what happened then? Not in great depth, but who is it we're talking about?
Well, her name's Louise Couchman. She's the receptionist.
Couchman?
Yeah.
Is the receptionist where?
Torbay Court Hotel.
Okay. And when did this happen?
This was a couple of weeks ago, a few weeks ago, something like that.
No, exactly.
Sorry?
You know exactly.
Without looking at my other phone and messages, no. But yeah, let's say it's been over the past sort of few weeks. So I'm not sleeping. Yeah. So anyway, she knocked on my door one evening, and then she sort of barged away in, trying to claim that somebody was coming. Like whether it was a member of staff or what, I don't know. To be fair, I think I was the only person in the hotel at the time, so it probably was staff. I don't know. I don't know what happened exactly, but she came in, closed the door, which she shouldn't have done. And I don't know how to deal with it. I don't have the life skills to deal with myself, let alone anything like this. I felt put under pressure. I ended up going to her room, which she told me about. And while I was lying there and we were just watching TV and chatting, you know, she was drinking more and more, becoming more drunk. And I was just like, I don't want to be here. Not only that, do I not want to be in this situation because I just haven't got the emotional energy or skills to deal with it. Like, you know, this is potentially going to put me homeless. And I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't want to make her feel bad. I didn't want to deny it. I didn't know how to deal with it. And, you know, just because of being vulnerable, the mere fact that I'm having to record myself with her as well, like because of the things that she said. I mean, there was other stuff that she said afterwards, you know, trying to sort of be manipulative. You know, I was talking to her about everything that was going on, and her, you know, response was to go to the very people that are causing the problems. But then she claimed that I was being angry and calling her nasty and everything else. Well, that never happened. Like, nothing like that happened. Then, you know, we did meet up a few times, but I just didn't want to be in the situation. It was so uncomfortable. I felt like I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't know how to say no. I didn't know how to deal with it. Like, to say, look, this can't go on. It has to stop. You know, and in the end, I did say, look, this is, you know, this should never have happened. Like, you know, just the way she used to make it was just clear that she was using me for her own satisfaction. Obviously, you said you didn't want me to go into too much detail, but, you know, essentially, it was so distressful, and the fact that I had to sneak around, putting me under more stress, worried about whether I'm, you know, going to be homeless or not. And I, you know, I'd messaged her the one night, basically saying, you know, well, I don't particularly like it when you know, I've got through telling you one thing, and then you know, your solution is go and see the other, you know. And then anyway, I went downstairs, and she'd obviously taken umbrage at that. But then she tried to say one thing to me and then deny it. And I'm like, okay, would you like me to prove it to you? Because I've recorded the conversation. Right? And, you know, the mere fact that I had to record the conversation with her just to prove the fact that she is a liar and manipulative just speaks volumes. You know, I partly accept responsibility for going there and for, you know, in some ways continuing it, but I didn't know how to deal with the situation. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in any kind of relationship. The last thing I want is to be with anybody, even in a physical relationship at the moment. All I want at the moment is some peace, justice, and to die. Like, that's all I want. You know, it's just been a complete nightmare. Since I was there, all I've tried to do is just be quiet. You know, I even vacuum, or I'd say, oh, can I borrow the vacuum, keep the room clean? You know, I picked up my own spray and that to keep up the room clean, even though there's like hotel staff to clean rooms. You know, I was just trying to sort of, yeah.
So can I ask you a couple of questions?
Yeah.
So, are you trying to explain to me that you were in a relationship you didn't want to be in?
No, it wasn't a relationship in any way, shape or form. The fact of the matter is I felt that she was controlling me and using me for what she wanted. I didn't want to be in that situation. Even one night I actually left because I was like, I don't want to be here. It's so uncomfortable. And I'm like, I didn't know how to say no. And the fact is I'm not getting any help and support from the so-called mental health team. I am being abused by everybody. This is not the first time that I've had false allegations. I had false allegations by an ex when I was about 18 years old. Like, it was, I've had false allegations last year by somebody whose advances I rejected. This is why I was scared to reject their advances, because last year somebody called Deanna Adams, who I'd known since I was at school, went to school with her son, tried to claim that I was a danger to kids, and if I'd turn around to this thing, I don't know how to deal with it. I've had enough.
Michael, just take a breath a second. Let's focus on what we're talking about at the moment, all right? We take nice deep breaths, nice and calm.
Yeah, I know, but I've had to tell you that because it has bearing on why I couldn't say no.
Okay.
It's just I'm sick and tired of being abused.
Michael, just take a breath a second. I just want to talk to you a little bit about what happened.
Yeah.
Do you think that a reasonable person would have known that you didn't want to be there with her?
Yes, because I'd already been in the hotel for about 2 weeks already, and I'd already discussed how vulnerable I was. I'd already told them that I was homeless. She already knew that I was vulnerable. Then the council, when they finally got their finger out and stopped being so corrupted because my solicitor got involved, they contacted her, so she knew full well that I was vulnerable.
Can I ask you another question?
What?
Did you go to her room and engage in sexual activity with her?
We did have sex on that day, but it wasn't straight away. I was lying down, we must have been lying down for about 2 or 3 hours, if that. And, I say I wanted to leave at one point. I just didn't know how to leave. And then, the next day I did leave, and I'm like, I had to be sneaking around. I'm like, what do I do? And in the end I did say, this shouldn't have happened. And I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with it. I'm like, look, this shouldn't have happened. I'm not capable of dealing with this. But she knew I was vulnerable. I'm just, I didn't know how to deal with it.
It can be quite hard when we talk about sexual matters, because it's hard if I don't want to do something but I don't vocalise it, and all of my behaviour suggests to the other person that I'm happy with what's happening, we have to ask ourselves, is it reasonable for them for this to have happened? Does that make sense?
I don't.
So if I go to someone's house but I don't like what they've served for dinner, but I'm too polite to say anything and I eat it anyway, is it reasonable for me to assume that they know that I don't like chicken, for example, if I don't say anything and if I just eat it? Because they might then serve me up chicken every time I go round there because I never said anything. Do you think that she would have known that you did not want to have sexual activity with her if you engaged in it?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, because every time I actually saw her, aside from when she was on reception, she'd always been drinking.
Right.
I don't know.
So that's the question when we think about a criminal offence. If I don't make any signs to the person that I'm with that I don't want to be there and I'm not willing to engage in sexual activity, i.e. I don't say stop, or I don't push them away, or I don't vocalise my thoughts, sometimes we can be thinking lots of things in our head that we don't say out loud, and any person looking at our behaviour would say, do you know what, I don't see any problem with what's going on. And that's what we have to work out. Now, I know that you're having a really, really tough time, and we have to try and decide if it was reasonable for what happened, whether or not she was at fault for engaging in sexual activity with you. Would she have known that you didn't want to? Now, do you think, looking at what happened as an outsider, that watching what was going on, like a film, would anyone watching you have thought that you didn't want to be there?
I don't know, unless they knew me and what was going on and what my mental health problems and that were. Probably not. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I'd spoken to her before saying I didn't want to be in a relationship or anything.
But do you think that just because you had sexual activity, she thought that was the same thing as a relationship?
I don't know. She didn't want a relationship either. I just think she was using me.
So do you think that perhaps this was just an opportunity for two adults that she thought were consenting to have some kind of sexual contact?
Yeah, I think, like I say, she just took advantage of me, just knowing that I was vulnerable. You know, the fact that
she took advantage of you, or that she took advantage of what she thought was a consenting adult in front of her?
Well, I think she took advantage of me and everything. Fact of the matter is I didn't want to be there, and I just didn't know how to deal with it. I don't have the life skills to deal with these situations. This is the problem. I haven't been getting any help and support. I don't know how to deal with these situations. If I had a better state of mental health, you know, and was able to actually say no, which I've always had an issue with, and it probably wouldn't have happened, but I didn't know how to deal with the situation.
Did you do anything that would tell her you didn't want to be there?
I think the fact asking, you know, repeatedly, you know, I should go and stuff like that, you know.
Were you locked in the room?
Sorry?
Did she lock you in the room?
Well, the door was locked, but it wasn't like, it's got like these key cards that you get in from the outside, but from the inside you just open the door. But she was on the side that was nearest the door, but...
Did she stop you leaving?
No, not really stopping me. She was just, like I say, she was just more emotionally manipulative.
What do you mean by that?
Well, just a lot of the things that she used to say. She used to try and, you know, when I was talking to her, she'd be very manipulative about the conversation, for example. She used to try and make out that I was making her out to be nasty and stuff because I brought it up that, you know, her response to what I just told her was to go to the very people that are abusing me. And I'm like, well, but why would you do that? But I've just told, you know, and I'm like, well, but then she, you know, like with the conversation that I recorded the day before I was asked to leave the hotel.
So have you been asked to leave? Have you been asked to leave that hotel now then?
Yeah, I got asked to leave the next day. But she's denying that, you know, anything ever happened. Right, basically, and I had to record this, she was quite happy to deny it. She was quite happy for me to walk around the hotel, make it like with everybody thinking that I was a liar, that she was quite happy for everyone to think that she was completely innocent. Clearly she was being manipulative. Clearly she knew that what she was doing was wrong and didn't want anybody to know about it.
What do you mean? What in particular was she doing that was wrong?
But the fact that she'd taken advantage of me, the fact that, as you know, she'd gone to a guest's room and, you know, somebody that's homeless, that is vulnerable, you know, and that, you know, she'd taken advantage of them and, you know, made sexual advances towards them.
Where did the sexual activity take place? In her room or your room?
In her room, but she came to mine first, but clearly she wanted something to happen there and then, and I just stood there.
So you willingly went to her room?
Like she said, come to my room. I just didn't know how to deal with it. Because I didn't know how to say no. I was like, what do I do? And because I'd already had false allegations made against me previously, and because your colleagues have made false allegations and mistreated me again and everything that's gone on, I don't know. I am sick and tired of the lies, corruption and abuse that's going against me. Like, I've had enough. I am sick and tired of it all. Your colleagues have potentially infected me with HIV or all sorts because I had open cuts and so on and so forth. I've now got 4 months to wait for a blood test. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the abuse. Nobody's doing anything. People are taking advantage of me. I'm sick of it.
Are you under the mental health team?
Unfortunately, but they're not doing anything. They're just as criminal. I've had to record all the telephone calls with them. I've got evidence that, like, my care coordinator is a liar. Right, I've been neglected by them. I have repeatedly been abused by the mental health team. Again, in 2016, another female whose advances I rejected. I ended up getting banned and having my therapy withdrawn because of false allegations against somebody who I rejected. No wonder I didn't want to reject her advances, because I didn't know what the hell was going to happen, because nobody, you people, Devon and Cornwall Police, don't do anything. All you want to do is subject me to more abuse, crimes, suffering. That is all that's happened.
Michael, I'm trying very hard to listen and understand what's gone on, but I haven't subjected you to any abuse, have I?
I just said Devon and Cornwall Police.
I know, but obviously I'm a police officer, so I have to make sure that you know that I haven't dealt with you really in that context before. Who's your care coordinator meant to be?
Sarah Fayers, unfortunately, but she's a liar and a waste of space. I hope somebody hangs her. I hope her own family gets beaten. I hope her own family gets skinned. I hope they go through hell.
I think that's the way to talk about. I think that's quite a threatening way to talk about them.
No, it's just how these people deserve to be subjected to so much pain and suffering for what they've gone through. Oh, dearie me, are they I mean, you see, clearly you're showing bias in favour of these people that have abused me.
Hear threatening language like that about people. I'm talking to you about what's happened to you.
No, it's not threatening language. I'm saying that this is what these people deserve to be going through. I haven't threatened anybody.
Let's go back to what's happened.
No, I don't think so. I think the trust has broken down, because you just said that I've been threatening people. I haven't threatened anybody. I've basically stated what these people should be subjected to. These people have put me through hell. These people have neglected me. The safeguarding team has ignored crimes committed by these people. I've had false allegations made by the Shrublands again. I can prove that it's false because I recorded the telephone call. The same, I can prove everything else to be false because I haven't done anything.
Let's go back to Louise Couchman. Okay. Are you happy just to carry on talking about it for a minute?
Right, whatever, yeah.
Right. In order for me to further investigate this, we have to ascertain if you think a reasonable person watching what was going on would have believed that you were made to do what happened. Did you give her any indication that you were unhappy with sexual contact?
Well, there was a couple of times like I should leave. Should I leave you alone? Which was more of me saying, look, I don't want to be here.
Did you say directly, I don't want to be here, please don't do that?
Not that I can recall, no, because I've already tried to explain that I didn't know how to deal with the situation, because I don't have the skills to deal with it, and because I've had numerous false allegations made against me previously by people.
Okay. Did you, after she came into your room, did you willingly go to her room?
Eventually, yes.
Did she force you to go to her room?
No, but again, I don't know what would have happened if I'd said no, because of what's happened to me before. I am sick and tired of being abused and neglected. This is a pattern of abuse, and I've had to record everything to show that I haven't done anything wrong.
I'm not suggesting for a minute you've done anything wrong, Michael. What is difficult for me as an impartial investigator is that if there were no clear signs to a person that what was going on, they didn't want to happen, and that then there was reciprocative behaviour. So if I'm watching, for example, as an outsider, and I see two people, and I see touching on both parts, and I see physical reactions on both parts, and so forth, as an outsider, it would be very hard for me to see that one person did not want to be there if they didn't make any signs they didn't want to be there, and if all their body language, apart from maybe appearing a bit nervous, that they wanted to be there. Does that make sense to you?
Right, yeah, but it's not always physical, there's always mental, which you seem to be ignoring, and the fact that...
I'm not ignoring the mental aspect, but what we can't say is Louise isn't a mind reader, is she?
The fact that I'm a vulnerable adult, the fact that, there clearly was a lot of subtle signs, the fact that I even left one night as well, that I'm anxious and, I said, this is a difficult situation.
It is difficult. And
you know,
having
the fact that
relations with people is really difficult and challenging. But if they don't know that you're unhappy with it, then perhaps they don't know they're doing something wrong.
either way, even if she didn't take advantage of me in a sexual manner, the fact of the matter is that she took advantage of a vulnerable adult. The fact of the matter is that she did something that she shouldn't have done. That I am now suffering with it because of, you know, what happened. You know, the fact it's put me under immense mental distress. You know, I didn't want to be there, but as I've repeatedly said, I have repeatedly had false allegations made against me. I have repeatedly been abused, and you've just turned around and shown clear bias and being manipulative, trying to claim that I was being threatening. No, I wasn't threatening.
Hang on, I'm not being sorry, I've not said you were threatening.
You did. You said I was using threatening behavioural language.
Speak about your care coordinator like that. That is not the conversation we were having. I'm asking you about the incident with Louise. So I'm not suggesting you were threatening to her. What I'm asking you is, do you think she knew that you did not want to be there?
No, you said I was being threatening towards the mental health team. What about my language?
Yes, I did say that, but that's not about Louise, is it?
But I wasn't being threatening.
You said, I hope she gets hanged, and I hope her family gets beaten up.
Yeah, I hope her family and she does suffer because of what they've put me through. These people deserve to face the repercussions of their actions. These people are the ones that should be in court, not me. These are the ones that should be losing their livelihoods, not me.
Let's draw that part of the conversation. What we need to talk about is going forward with this incident with Louise. Did you discuss it with anyone?
Yes, I've discussed it with friends, and I didn't even want to be there. And even one friend was like, "Oh, don't make her lose her job."
Don't make her lose her job.
Yeah, or don't say anything to anyone; she might lose a job, or words to that effect. Everyone thinking it's just fun, but no, everyone's being dismissive of the fact that I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be put in that situation. I was forced into that situation. I couldn't say no. I can't say no. I've never been able to say no because of the extent of my mental health problems and the fact that I'm a vulnerable adult. I've had repeated false allegations made against me by psychotic, sociopathic, unstable female individuals whose advances I have rejected. And what's their response to cause me pain and suffering? And has anyone ever done anything about it? No, I'm the one that's suffering, and these people get away with it all.
Okay. I'm going to have to speak to one of my colleagues and just get some advice about this. If I asked you to come in and give a video statement, would you do that?
Yeah, I would do. Because I've had enough. I am sick and tired of this abuse. Right, like I said last year, I rejected somebody's advances. I had false allegations made. This has to end. And this isn't just happening with individuals. It's happening with your colleagues. It's happening with the mental health team. It's happening with every damn service that I'm going to. I am being criminally treated.
Would you like me to speak to the mental health team to see if I can get you some alternative support?
But, I mean, I spoke to you about this last time, and you were mentioning something about looking at a social worker. But I am being ignored and abused and let down, which is why I'm going to be taking my own life, right? Because I'm sick and tired. As soon as I can get as soon as my website is up and running properly and I've disclosed everything I possibly can about your colleagues, about all the other services and everything that I've been subjected to, I will be gone. I have had enough. There's no point in going to the mental health team because they're just as criminal as your colleagues are, just as criminal as every other service that I've encountered. Safeguarding aren't doing anything, even though I have stacks of evidence of actual criminal negligence and abuse and crimes committed against me. I have had enough. I'm exhausted. All right? I am tired of all this ongoing neglect and abuse. Right, I want to die. I just want to be able to get some peace and justice. That's all I want. I am in immense pain and suffering, and I'm not getting the help that I need. And this situation is indicative of that, like my symptoms of my mental health, not being able to say no, being manipulated and vulnerable, been taken advantage of, like my ex did. She made false allegations against me to your colleagues, which I can prove to be false. I can prove that she took advantage of me by keeping me in the house. Right, I've got evidence that can prove my mental aspect, that I have been manipulated by females and abused for an X amount of time, and I will use that as evidence as to why this incident happened at the hotel, because I'm being manipulated and abused, and I'm not well enough, and I'm not getting the help I need. I don't have the life skills to deal with situations like this. This is why it's happened.
Michael, just pause a second for me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not carry on having a conversation because it's obviously causing you upset, and I don't want to do that.
No, it's got to be said. It has to be said.
I know. Final thing I just need to ask you before I leave it there is, can I bluntly ask you what sort of sexual activity took place?
Just oral sex for the most part, actually, to the point I didn't even want to have sex with her. I didn't want to be there. It was just a case of, it was clear that she was using me, so I just gave her oral sex, and then I just wanted to leave. I didn't want to have sex. Sorry, you performed oral sex on her? Yeah, because I just didn't want to be there. She did on me as well at one point, and yes, we did have intercourse and tried to at times, but it was just a nightmare because I just didn't want to be there. I didn't feel the need.
Tried to have intercourse?
Yes, but she, it was like,
okay.
She was like, "Oh, you haven't come yet." I'm like, "Well, we haven't even done anything yet." I'm like, I just didn't even want to be there. I just wasn't interested in it. Just did not want to be there.
Okay.
And I just didn't know how to deal with the situation. She put me under immense distress as it was, because of having to sneak around the hotel. She clearly knew what was happening was wrong, and she didn't want anyone to know about it. I didn't know how to deal with it. Why is no one listening to me? I can't cope with these. I can't cope with these situations. Please, no one's listening to me. I don't have the help and support I need. I don't have the life skills to deal with these situations, and they keep happening.
Michael, just pause a second. I am listening to you. I am listening. Okay. Can I please make a referral to your mental health team to see if we can get you...
Stop wasting my time, please. Stop perpetuating the abuse. They'll just ignore you. They'll just keep... I don't want to be on that team. Right. I got passed from one care coordinator, and to be fair, I got on well with him, but he's shown his true colours eventually. I've got passed on to this new care coordinator who is a complete and total waste of space and does not deserve to be in care. In fact, nobody does there. Why is this centre even operating? Right.
What is the care coordinator's name again?
Sarah Fayers. If you just ask for the complete and total waste of space, the care coordinator involved with me, you'll find out which one it is. Right, they'll feed you a complete load of rubbish. They'll be saying that I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. Well, I can prove that it's utter nonsense. I can prove that I've been neglected. In fact, I've got to speak to somebody again later. Do you remember I mentioned to you that somebody had spoken to me about investigating this abuse? Well, I'm speaking to them again later.
All right, I'll leave it there, and I'll try and get hold of you next week.
So, it's just like I say, I appreciate you trying to help, but it's just like the way the mental health team aren't doing anything. I'm just going to be abused and neglected. It's just not going to happen. And I don't know how to deal with my, I'm supposed to be at this court thing next week. I don't have any legal advisor for that because the last one was just as corrupt. Right. I haven't seen any evidence for these so-called allegations against me. I've repeatedly asked for it. I've been ignored. I've had enough. Like, I'm not getting the help and support I need. What do I do? Like, I'm here.
You know the number, don't you?
Sorry?
You know the Samaritans number, don't you?
I'm not going to bother with it. I can't bother with it. I tried them. Like, I've got nowhere. I don't have any help and support. This is what I mean. The mental health team, it's a waste of time. Numerous people have contacted them. They haven't bothered doing anything.
Okay. I would try the Samaritans again because you get a different person every time they pick up.
But I don't want. It's not going to help. It's just going to make me worse. I don't need to be talking to somebody. I need help and support. I need advocacy support. I need to help, like therapy. I need to be help dealing with my day-to-day life. I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not eating. I'm not cleaning myself anymore. I'm not washing my clothes. Right? I am dead inside.
Have you got a social worker?
No. I haven't got anybody. I'm supposed to have a care coordinator who's a complete and total waste of space. She tried to claim a conversation got heated, and then I had no contact from them. Since then, my life deteriorated. I had no support. I can prove that it didn't get heated because I recorded the telephone call with her. And have I been listened to? No, I've just been neglected and abused. Right? And then all of a sudden she phones me out of the blue, and then all of a sudden disappears, and then somebody's accused me of something else, and I'm like, what? Like, and I'm getting calls from all kinds of people, and then all of a sudden nothing. I'm not getting any help and support. I need help. I need help.
You okay?
Sorry.
If I can find someone that's better for you.
I can't cope. I don't know how to deal with this. I hate talking on the phone as it is.
I know, you've done really well today, and I'm sorry we had to do it over the phone. I just wanted to make sure I didn't I said that we'd speak today.
I know, and I'm not having a go at you.
No, I know you're not, but I'm grateful you took the time to speak to me.
I just need help. I can't cope. I don't know what to deal with. I can't even cope with my own day-to-day.
Do you?
Sorry?
You don't like first response, do you?
No, I've given up with them. Because last time I spoke, I've uploaded a telephone call with them so that everybody can see the abuse that I am uploading everything. Telephone calls, evidence of abuse by your colleagues, by other services. I've had enough. Nobody's doing anything.
Okay, well,
please let me die.
We don't want you to die, Michael.
I want to die. I don't care what anyone else wants. You people do not. Nobody has the right to tell me what I do. Nobody has the right to dictate to me my choices. If I want to die, that is my choice. I am so ill.
I'm gonna end the phone call there, and I'm gonna try and speak to social services and your mental health. All right. So please advise yourself. We don't want you to hurt yourself.
Right, I'm scared about this situation, because I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't want to be there. There is a history of abuse with females where I have rejected advances, and I've had false allegations made against me, and I was scared to say no because I didn't know how to deal with it. Please.
Michael, stop talking for a second. Don't be scared, because there's nothing bad that's happened as a result. You're not been accused of anything.
I know, but the emotional aspect, I feel awful. I didn't want to be this. I've even got a telephone call, the very one that I uploaded with the first response, telling them that I didn't feel safe, that I didn't want to be there. Okay. I will send you the link to it. You can listen to it. I clearly stated about what happened at the hotel, that I didn't feel safe, that I didn't want to be there.
Michael, where's it up to?
Hey.
Where have you uploaded it?
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Well, what's your channel name?
I can't remember now. Hang on. Let me have a look. Can't even focus on this. Just everything that I used to be. I worked in engineering. I was pursuing stunts and acting. Everything. I'm just. Right. Right, where's that I sent? Hang on, it'd be just easier if I find it from a link that I sent to somebody.
What's your channel name? What do you post under?
Oh, this is a new one. It's just called My Life and Injustices.
My Life and Injustices?
Yeah, it's the same as my website, which is going live, where I'm naming and shaming everybody. I am sick and tired of the abuse that I've been subjected to by everybody, and no one's doing anything. Right, this is just targeted abuse by everybody. The mental health team, other services. I've had threatening calls from your colleagues when I've got evidence that proves that the claims that they've heard against me are false. I mean, I am being targeted and victimised.
I'm trying to find your channel on YouTube and I can't find it. Do you say it was My Life and Injustices?
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's what it's called. I say it's new, and I just 'Cause I had an old one. I'm like, no, I need one specifically for everything that's gone on.
Do you have your surname on it as well?
No.
I can't find it.
All right, maybe it's because it's new, I don't know, but I can always email a link. But basically, the phone call just shows that it's just one of many. I've got so many recorded telephone calls which I need to sort out and go through and make sure that they're disclosed, because I'm not being subjected to this abuse anymore. I can't cope. I'm not getting any help and support. This is just targeted abuse against me. I want some peace and justice, and I want to die. I am exhausted. I don't want to be an actor anymore. I don't want to be a stuntman. I don't want to do my engineering anymore. I don't want to do anything. I don't have the drive for it. I'm too sick. I've had the life sucked out of me. Right? I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to get any peace and justice, because I've had your colleagues threatening me as a clear attempt to try and make me stay quiet. I've had armed police turn up over completely fabricated statements. I've had more false, laughable allegations against me, and yet your colleagues are just getting away with their abuse against me. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. You know, knife crime, that the PC Bobby claim never happened, right? But yet there's witnesses and CCTV, and she was involved in a previous allegation where I get an out-of-court settlement, attempted murder being ignored. Right, I've had enough. I've had your colleagues try to claim that discrimination is a criminal offence. Yes, it is. I've got evidence of discrimination. I've been ignored. I'm in pain and distress. I can't cope anymore. Right.
Michael, I have to call there, but I'll get in touch with you next week, all right?
All right, okay. Have you got my email address? Because I can't always, sometimes it might, I don't know, just for communication, that's all.
I'll stick to phoning you, don't worry, it'll be all right.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye.